Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala nabiyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, today we will reflect on the life of Prophet Dawud alayhi salam, a remarkable prophet, warrior, a king and a judge. His story is filled with courage, wisdom, with leadership and devotion to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned Prophet Dawud alayhi salam in Surah Sad, highlighting his patience, strength and justice as qualities that made him an exemplary prophet and leader. His story offers profound lessons in faith, courage, wisdom and righteous governance. The most notable aspects of his life include his miraculous victory over Jalut, his rise to kingship, his divine gifts and miracles, and his role as a just ruler and judge. Before attaining kingship, Dawud alayhi salam lived a simple and humble life as a shepherd. Shepherding was a profession that taught him patience, responsibility and leadership, qualities that would later help him rule wisely. However, his life took a significant turn when he became a soldier in the army of Dawud, the ruler of Bani Israel at the time. During his time in the army, Bani Israel found themselves facing one of the greatest challenges in their history, an intense battle against the mighty Philistine army, which was led by Jalut, a fearsome giant warrior feared by all. The Israelites were overwhelmed by fear, as Jalut was known for his immense strength, brutal combat skills, and intimidating presence of the battlefield. Despite having a large army, Bani Israel hesitated and felt defeated even before the battle began. As no one dared to confront Jalut at this moment, Dawud alayhi salam, a young, relatively unknown soldier, stepped forward with complete faith in Allah and volunteered to face the giant in combat. Dawud alayhi salam was not a trained warrior, nor equipped with any advanced weapons or armor. Unlike the experienced soldier around him, he had never fought in a major battle. Yet, his heart was filled with faith and he placed his trust entirely in Allah SWT. His confidence was not in his physical ability but in Allah's divine help and guidance. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described this historic moment in the Quran. فَهَزَمُوهُمْ بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ وَقَتَلَ دَاوُودُ جَالُوتَ وَآتَاهُ اللَّهُ الْمُلْكَ وَالْحِكْمَةَ وَعَلَّمَهُ مِمَّا يَشَاءُ. So they defeated them by permission of Allah, and Dawud killed Jalut. And Allah gave him the kingdom and wisdom and taught him whatever he willed. And instead of using conventional weapons such as swords or shields, Dawud alayhi salam armed himself with a simple slingshot and a stone. He aimed precisely and by Allah's will struck Jalut on the forehead, instantly killing him. This was not a battle won by strength or military expertise. It was a victory that demonstrated the power of faith, the power of courage, and the complete reliance on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the death of Jalut was nothing short of a miraculous event, as it defied the expectations of those who believed that strength and power alone determine victory. And this event served as a reminder that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grants success to whom He wills, and that true strength lies in faith and reliance on Him rather than physical might. After his remarkable victory over Jalut, Dawud alayhi salam was honored by Allah and appointed as both a king and a prophet, ruling over Bani Israel with wisdom, strength and fairness. Allah bestowed upon him exceptional qualities of leadership and mentioned his virtues in the Quran. Isbir ala ma yaqulun wadhkur abdana Dawuda dhal aidi innahu awwab. Be patient over what they say, and remember our servant Dawud, the possessor of strength. Indeed, he was one who repeatedly turned back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As a king and as a prophet, Dawud alayhi salam ruled with justice and fairness, ensuring that his people were governed by the principles of righteousness. Despite his immense power and authority, he remained humble, he remained devoted to Allah, and he constantly turned to Him in worship and gratitude. He became a model of patience, a model of humility and gratitude, inspiring his people to live by faith and obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah bestowed unique divine gifts upon Prophet Dawud alayhi salam as a sign of his favor and blessings. These special abilities not only distinguished him from others but also enabled him to serve his people with wisdom and to serve his people with righteousness. One of the most extraordinary blessings granted to Dawud alayhi salam was his melodious voice. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gifted him with a voice so beautiful that when he recited the Zabur, a book of wisdom and praise, it deeply moved people's hearts. The Quran highlights this as a unique gift. As a unique gift where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا دَاوُودَ مِنَّا فَضْلًا يَا جِبَالُ أَوِّبِي مَعَهُ. And we certainly gave Dawud from us bounty, O mountains, repeat praises with him and the birds as well. And we made iron palatable for him. His recitation was so powerful and moving that even the mountains and birds would join him in praising Allah. This gift was a testament to his deep devotion and connection to Allah, as he spent his time glorifying and worshipping him through his beautiful recitation. In addition to his spiritual gifts, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted Dawud alayhi salam a remarkable physical ability, the power to mold iron with his hands. Unlike others who required fire and tools to shape metal, Dawud alayhi salam could bend and shape iron effortlessly. Allah commands in the Quran where Allah mentioned, أَنْ يَعْمَلْ سَابِغَاتٍ وَقَدِّرْ فِي السَّرْدِ وَعْمَلُوا صَالِحًا إِنِّي بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ بَصِيرٌ. Make full coats of armor and measure precisely the links and work righteousness. Indeed, I am of what you do seeing. And with this ability, Dawud alayhi salam crafted armor for warriors, strengthening his people in battle and providing protection for those in need. This divine skill was not just a blessing but also a test. Allah gave him this power to see whether he will use it for good or otherwise. Dawud alayhi salam fulfilled his responsibility by using his talent to help others rather than seeking the personal gain. And Prophet Dawud alayhi salam was not only a king but also a judge, known for his fair and wise decision. His rulings were guided by divine wisdom and an unwavering commitment to justice. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala entrusted him with the responsibility of governance and judgment, reminding him to always rule with truth and fairness. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, Ya Dawud, inna ja'alnaka khalifatan fil ard, fahkum bayna nasi bil haqq wa la tattabi'il hawa, fayudillaka an sabilillah. O Dawud, indeed we have made you a successor upon the earth, so judge between the people in truth and do not follow your desire. Let it lead you astray from the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This verse highlights that justice is a trust from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and a leader must never let personal desires, personal power or bias influence judgment. One of the most well-known cases judged by Prophet Dawud alayhi salam involved a dispute between two men. One of them was a wealthy man who owned 99 sheep, while the other was a poor man who had only one sheep. The rich man, despite already possessing great wealth, sought to take the poor man's only sheep, leaving him with nothing. Upon hearing this case, Prophet Dawud alayhi salam immediately recognized the injustice and ruled in favor of the poor man. He identified the greed of the wealthy man and warned against the oppression of those who are weaker or less fortunate, and his judgment was not only a decision of fairness but also a strong message against the abuse of power. Through this ruling, Dawud alayhi salam demonstrated that justice must always prevail regardless of a person's wealth, social status, or influence. His decision as a lesson in fairness, reminding everyone that power should be exercised with responsibility and true leadership lies in upholding justice for all. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, the story of Prophet Dawud alayhi salam offers profound lessons on faith, on leadership and responsibility. His life teaches us that true leadership is built on justice, is built on wisdom and humility. A leader must serve the people selflessly and ensure fairness in all matters, just as Dawud alayhi salam ruled with righteousness and sincerity. Additionally, every talent and skill we possess is a gift from Allah and should be used to benefit others and to worship Him, whether in governance, whether in craftsmanship or personal abilities. Dawud alayhi salam demonstrated that true success lies in using our gifts for good and not for our personal gain. Furthermore, his wisdom in judgment reminds us that justice must always be prioritized over personal desires. Seeking Allah's guidance in decision making ensures that we act fairly, truthfully, and in accordance with His will. Thus, the life of Prophet Dawud alayhi salam teaches us that faith and courage can overcome even the greatest challenges. Leadership is a trust that must be exercised with fairness, and our skills are meant to be used for good. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us wisdom, grant us patience and justice in all of our affairs, and help us to walk the path of the righteousness. Amin ya Rabbal Alameen. Jazakumullahu khairah.